Hello and welcome to Talkentic, where each voice matters. I am Anushka from Owl Media, and we have our guest Abdul Gani Punjabi. From planning, organizing, and executing events to creating his own event, from leading himself to training and leading a team of 300 plus successfully. Abdul Gani Punjab seeks to create a positive change in the world. He is the founder and CEO of Inspiring the 21st Century and Assistant Director of India's international movement to United Nations. We welcome you here, sir.
Thank you so much. Just to add on, thank you for that lovely introduction. At the same time, just to add on the last part, I resigned from my position 2 months ago from being the assistant director of India's international movement to United Nations. So I'm working on two of my initiatives right now, which is inspiring the 21st century and the International for Running Muslim Youth Forum.
That's lovely,
Thank you
sir.
so much for the welcome.
That's wonderful. So we'll be starting with the questions now. So first question for you is, how great or how difficult was your entrepreneurial journey?
Now, for all those, because this is a topic which I really love to share about, and just to add on, just before this meeting, I was having a meet with an entrepreneur who is working with the Harvard's Business Review panel. So that is something what I can say, that the bigger picture is right now, when we talk about entrepreneurship, it does not happen in a day. It does not, it's not a day journey. Most of the time, especially in our youngsters, in these stages, when you are in your 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, or whichever, or in your MBAs, it seems like, entrepreneur seems a really cool word. We can start our own journey. But at the same time, it takes really a lot of planning. At the same time, idealizations and the right people at the right place. Of course, I'm not here to say that, it's a hard process. You cannot become an entrepreneur. But what I would love to say is, most importantly, being an entrepreneur is a journey. It's a journey that you go through. I can say through various ups, various downs, but most importantly, your experience matters a lot. So all these youngsters who are listening to us right now, I would love to say that the beautiful part of being an entrepreneur is you are the whole and soul of your business, or I can say your organization or your foundation or your initiative, and you are the one who has to bear their profits, the loss, and everything. But talking about the hardness of the journey, to be very honest, to be very frank, for me, coming from a position of multiple leadership roles throughout my graduations, and then after that working in this international organization previously, from where I resigned 2 months before, I think it's not hard for me because I share a background of management studies as well. So just to add on, I come from a background of management studies, specialization in marketing and even management and branding and so many more things. So for me, I think, when we have subjects out of it, but the biggest part before starting my journey of inspiring the 21st century, just to throw a bit light for all those who are like, what exactly is this? We don't even know what this initiative is all about. And you are a founder of what exactly? So just to add a bit into the question, before I speak about the hardships of what exactly you face through, is the inspiring the 21st century is mostly about reaching out to all these schools and universities. Now, before you say, you mean by India, right? So the schools and universities all across the 7 continents and 200 countries across the globe. My visions are to reach out to all these schools and universities and conduct free sessions for the youngsters so that they can do something revolutionary in terms of their public speaking, their leadership, their team management, their social skills, their presence online. And that is something what I am doing through Inspiring the 21st Century. So I am the CEO of that initiative, and currently my team of around 12 to 13 youngsters who really want to do something crazy is working on that. So for me, being leading team from a long amount of time, from past 60, not 60, from 6 years, team of 5, 10, 15, 20, 70, 100, 200, and sometimes a team of 300 on ground and off ground. I think this is something, it's easier for me at the moment. I won't say it was hard for me because, of course, I do take the technicalities that it's not a one-man show. Trust me, for all those entrepreneurs or soon-to-be entrepreneurs, I keep talking to leaders across the globe, and I do multiple things. This is just one of my initiative. I talk on my podcast. I have my own blog, more than 1,300 posts and so many things. But the bigger picture of being an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared. You have to have a vision. You can't be an entrepreneur just having a small teeny tiny goal to achieve. It's not going to happen. You need to have a bigger vision. For me, my vision is to to do something in terms of youth, to do something to inspire them, to do something that right now few people who are listening to us, and one of them is of course Monishka is here with us. It's that how can Monishka do something that she becomes a point of light in her family, in her society, in her city, in her continent, in her whole universe. So how can she do something really productive? So for me, being a CEO, of course, it comes with a whole lot of responsibility, meeting world leaders, interacting with them, communicating with them. But at the end of the day, I think entrepreneurship is beautiful for those who have a vision, for those who know what they want to achieve, and for those who have endurance. Mark this word. It's not a one-day job. Even sometimes you have to send an email at 2 o'clock in the morning, or maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, or maybe you need to have a meeting at 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night. Now, I say that because I do it. And I do it because when it's 11 o'clock at night in India, it's 10 o'clock in morning in US. When it's 1 o'clock at night here in India, in Denmark, it's around 9 p.m. So you have to, if you really are passionate about doing something in Nigeria. So by now I have covered some 15 countries, I guess, across the globe on my podcast. So I think I have a huge support from all these people, and of course the support comes from your vision. So I keep talking to founders, I keep talking to leaders, I keep talking to world class professionals, and I keep taking informations from them and try to craft it in the best way possible. So for me, again, coming to the topic which you brought in, that how hard is this journey of entrepreneurship? It is hard, but for me, I can say it's for me, it's like a flow, it's like a waterfall. And I'm sure you and all those who are watching to us right now knows this, just go with the flow. But for me, I don't go with the flow. If you go with the flow, you will never reach your destination, because it's important to know your destination, then set yourself in the flow. अभी प्रॉब्लम ये है, जस्ट टू ऐड ऑन फ्यू थिंग्स, अभी सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का ये है, यू डोंट नो द डेस्टिनेशन. You just want to jump in, you just want to get into the flow, and then after 2 years or 3 years or 10 years, you're like, पता नहीं मुझे कहाँ जाना था. So I would say the biggest beautiful thing, if you really want your entrepreneurial journey, whatever field it is, let me tell you, whatever product it is, whatever service it is, whatever you are trying to do for the benefit of the world, or trying to add value to the society, always remember, know your destination if you want to become an entrepreneur. And it's going to be an easy one. Just surround yourself with the right people. And if you cannot surround yourself with the right people, at least try to read, learn, understand, grasp from people who have done great things before. So for me, I can say it's a bit difficult at point of time where I don't know how things work. So if you come to me and say, how do you talk to people? That's my passion. I talk to thousands of people on stage, and I even talk to people on digital cameras, more than 500 and thousands of people. I'm fine with it. But if you come to me and tell me that, what about graphic designing, Abdul? Can you do that? I'm like, not my cup of tea. What about engineering? What about aeronautics? What about artificial intelligence? What about software? I said, that's not my cup of tea. So being an entrepreneur, you need to know your limitations. Come on, you can't be everything. So you need to bring those kind of people on board who knows how to do things. You can't be like, this is me, I started this whole thing and I'm going to take it forward. Yes, you are, but at the same time, you need the right people who share a similar vision. So that is something I would say. It's hard to find the right team, but once you have the right team, and if the direction matches, the vision matches, then it's all easy. I don't think it's a hard journey, but you need to have that vision. And of course, you need to know how to take it forward. It's not about कहाँ जाना है, उसके बाद आपको कैसे जाना है वो भी पता करना पड़ेगा. People don't focus on that, especially these youngsters who are listening to us right now. But yeah, shoot, what's the next question?
And of course, if we really want to achieve something in life, we really need to sacrifice something as well. So the
No.
next question, this is the really one question I couldn't refrain from asking. As the
Uh-huh.
pandemic struck the world, every sector of the economy suffered huge losses. So what was its impact on your
Mm-hmm.
organization or on you?
Now that's a good question. So again, the second thing, as I said, my entire initiative works on the foundation that it's going to be a free. It's going to be free. You have to pay nothing, absolutely nothing. But at the same time, for people who are listening to us right now, say, how can he do it for free? Come on, like there would be something. Maybe his family backups. Maybe I can say his strong background, or maybe something. So let me tell you, I'm just an average person like all of you. For all those who think I am on a pedestal, I got it everything in a plate, my parents might be rich, of course not. I come from a middle class family. I was born and brought up in Mumbai. And then, of course, I spent half of my life in Saudi Arabia. And then I came back, completed my graduation, my junior college here, then took a 2 years work experience with this international organization, which you introduced in the starting. But during this course of time, what you need to understand is once you become an entrepreneur, it's very important to, as I said, you find a team, right? So at least for me, I don't have anything expect of economy, but at the same time, I do have people. As I said, I keep interacting with people, and I ask this question to them. If you go to my podcast, the Speaking Diary, someday you will find me asking this question to them that, during the pandemic, something has shifted. How do you see this fluctuation in economy? How do you see the salaries going up and down? And then the beautiful answer they say is, Abdul, this is the really great time. You can utilize your skills in the best way possible. The beautiful thing what you need to do is for all these youngsters, of course, when I say youngsters, of course, I consider myself in the same criteria. I don't want to sound old person out here, but at the same time, for when I talk to leaders who are 45 plus, 50 plus, they say the biggest asset we have right now is we know how to use technology. And we can't be in the brick and mortars by now. Like, for those who understand, when I say brick and mortars, the brick which you can see behind me, it's a wallpaper. But let me tell you, brick in the sense you have to go to a shop, you have to buy something. Now you need to innovate it. You can't see, there are two things in the pandemic. There are two things. Either you can sit at home and you can cry that my salary is all cut off. I'm not able to meet people. I'm not able to generate income or XYZ. Or either you can take this pandemic, that this pandemic has helped us to get a huge amount of audience out there. Before the pandemic, people used to go out in the shops and buy and see the product and find everything. But right now, what's happening? Reality checks that even if you have a page on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or something like that, the bigger picture that happens is that now there is a flow. Now there more audience comes in. So what you can do is find out what your skills are, what your talents are, what your products are, and try to share it online. Come on. Don't tell me कि Abdul sir, the problem is अभी हम जा नहीं सकते, हमें पता नहीं है. आपको professional होने की जरूरत नहीं है. Come on, you need to understand that. You don't need to be a professional from day one. For me, when I started 2-3 years ago, speaking to the camera right now, speaking to all these people who are listening to us right now with such a speed, it's not a one-day process. You have to start someday. If you go and see my early days videos, you'll be like, are you really the person talking to us right now? But after a good amount of time, once you go forward, once you do things what you really love to do, in the future things improve. So the beautiful question what you really asked, the businesses are impacted. The beautiful thing is the pandemic is, of course, I am really sad for all those lives which are passed away, left us in this world, and the families have been impacted in so many things. But if God has blessed you with the skills and talents, then just grab this opportunity and come digital. I would say that again. I have no relations with any medias. I have no promotional things out here that go digital. But I'm just saying that if you really want to do something, you can go out, share your views, join and meet great people, find events which are happening for free. So people would be saying, "Paise nahi hai, to hum kya kare?" So you go and find free events. There are thousands of free events that are happening on a global scale. So the biggest problem in this pandemic is, to all those who are listening to us, listen to this carefully. I would really love to bring your attention here. Instead of just scrolling through Instagram and YouTube and watching all these XYZ videos or this post and this content, do it. I do not oppose it. I don't want to create enemies here. But at the same time, I would say that try to find what you love. Try to find out events that are happening in your domain. Try to find out people who are doing similar things what you love to do. And then try to collaborate with them. Try to share your ideas with them. And that is when you will find out कि जो salary का problem है, जो economy का problem है, you can do great things. Of course, it does not apply, again, condition applied. जो लोग technology में इतना आगे नहीं है, so I think this is our responsibility as youngsters, that if you can use the technology wisely, do something that you can help the people outside of your home. You can help the people who cannot access the technology, go and help them out, create jobs for them. I think this is a beautiful thing for youngsters. For all those who comes to me and say कि job नहीं है market में, तो बनाओ ना. I see this. नहीं है तो क्या हुआ? बनाओ jobs, बनाओ. So don't have only these mindset that we are not getting job in the market, but also it comes when I say this heavy sentence out there. it comes with a lot of background thinking. It's not just jaake job banao. Because I even know people who don't even have a proper resume. I'm sorry, but I must say this. I talk to world leaders and they tell me that, Abdul, when we see the resume of people, unke resume barabar nahi hai, to hum unhe hire kaise kare? So youth who are listening to us, if you think about paisa, it's a good thing. Think about it. I have no issues with that. But develop yourself. Come on. Like, even I see resumes. I have seen more than 200 to 500 resumes myself of university students. I'm like, are you really in universities? Come on, don't play with me around there. Come on. So this is something I would say, when economy is up and down, do not forget that use your skills wisely. Don't come to me and blame. There are places where you can definitely blame. You have the right to blame, but I'm sure if five people come to me, I can point out their skills and I can say, ये पांच चीजों से आप इतनी सारे पैसे कमा सकते हैं, क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो आप? Because they don't know, or because no one has guided them, or maybe they don't have a mentor, or maybe they never thought about it. The society is a crazy place. We'll talk about that in some other questions. But yes, I hope I answered that at the end of the day, yes, economy has been impacted. Money flow has been reduced in the market. I agree with that. बाहर के लोग जो है, जो नहीं कमा सकते, वो नहीं कमा सकते हैं. Daily necessities में भी problem आ गए हैं. But I think कि जो लोग कमा सकते हैं, जो लोग digital हैं, I'm not saying give away your whole wealth. सबको पैसे पसंद है, मुझे पता है. But at least have this soft corner to help humanity, that इतने पैसों में से 10% जो है, I will go out and distribute to the needy people, help out to the NGOs, or at least try to do something for the benefit of the society. I think at least you can do that. Job नहीं बना सकते तो इतना तो करो. Go into the market, earn, and don't say पैसे से भागो, मोह माया से दूर हो जाओ. वो एक अलग बात है, वो स्पिरिचुअलिटी वाला डोमेन भी है. आई इवन बिलीव इन दैट. बट एट द सेम टाइम, इफ गॉड हैज गिवन यू द स्किल्स एंड द टैलेंट्स एंड द नॉलेज एंड द एक्सपीरियंसेस, use it so that you can help more people out there. That is what my philosophy is. And of course, as I said, right now, I'm working with a foundation that is working on India level, so my finances get a bit better with it. It gets a bit better with it. But at the same time, as I said, I don't have any issues coming in. I don't have any issues coming in with the finances at the moment. But yeah, for all those who have these skills and talents, please go ahead. Yeah, come on, don't do that. So I hope that answers the question.
I can't tell you how motivated I already am after listening to you.
Thank you.
So, okay, and finally, this is the question from every entrepreneur or every aspiring
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur out there. How do we overcome failures?
Failures. Being an entrepreneur, if you talk to me about failures, first thing you need to understand is, see, this is the beautiful part of being an entrepreneur. When you are an entrepreneur, you need to understand that you have to define things for yourself. For me, when I talk about success, it can be I need to achieve 1.2 CR in a year, that my annual turnover. Or being happy or being successful can be that I am able to spend more time with my family. I'm able to earn 100 rupees per day. Listen to this carefully. If I'm able to earn 100 rupees per day, I am successful. Now I'm talking on different fronts. Again, if you are a person who do not have accessibility, your daily necessities are not been fulfilled, अगर आपने 100 रुपए दिन के कमा लिए, आप सक्सेसफुल हो. बट इफ यू आर एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, आपका विजन है 500 रुपए कमाने का, 5,000 रुपए कमाने का, 5 लाख कमाने का, 5 करोड़ कमाने का, देन यू हैव दैट विजन ईयरली, not monthly. Even it can be secondly, it can be yearly, it can be monthly, but depends on your product and it depends on your services. The second thing, which is very important when we talk about all these things, entrepreneurship, you need to have a boundary. You need to have a boundary. You need to have word decided for yourself. If I say that for me being successful means that I'm able to sleep peacefully at night, that is success for me. People might be shocked right now saying, what are you saying? Come on, what about money? I say, of course, money matters to me, but more than that, if I'm able to sleep peacefully at night, then I'm able to wake up peacefully the other day. If my mind is peaceful, I'm able to think more ideas. I'm able to relate to more people. I'm able to talk to more people. And at the same time, I'm able to do some great things together. But if my mind is not at the right place, and if my definitions of things are being defined by other people, that success means X, Y, Z, then I'm not going to achieve it. Trust me. I am not going to achieve it anyhow. It's going to be a very rough and tough journey for me. So when you talk about failures, and this has been a beautiful question even I asked to the world leaders, I said, how do you view failures? And they said, what is failure, Abdul? Tell me. Failure hota kya hai? I said, failure means you tried something, but you were not able to achieve it. They said, okay. अगर आपने अचीव नहीं किया तो आप क्या करोगे? आप करना छोड़ दोगे? I said maybe sometimes people leave doing it. Then they said आपको अपने विजन में भरोसा नहीं था. So there are two things to look at it. There are two things. As I said, the vision should be very big. It should not be a goal कि मुझे एक दुकान से दूसरी दुकान जाना है, मैं वहां पहुंच गया, मेरा काम खत्म हो गया है. अगर आपको इस वजह से एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है, आप नहीं बन सकते. I'm sorry to say. But if you want to reach out to a bigger audience, to a bigger place, to a bigger city, country, continent, then your visions are big. And your failures does not seem like failure. You are like, अच्छा, ये चीज, ये मीटिंग में ये लोगों ने मुझे एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया, प्रॉब्लम क्या थी? ओके, मे बी मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन सही नहीं था. So being an entrepreneur, your entire focus shift onto yourself. Again, not in a blaming capacity. Listen to this carefully. Blame nahi karna hai, depressed nahi hona hai, hopeless nahi hona hai, but at the same time, what you do is you improve yourself. You say, okay, fine, मैं यहाँ पे रिप्रेजेंट नहीं कर पाया, ठीक है, मुझे यहाँ पे ये करना पड़ेगा, मैं इनसे बराबर से बात नहीं कर पाया, मुझे ये करना पड़ेगा. So when you view the word failure, have this another mindset कि ठीक है, somewhere down the line maybe I lagged, maybe they were not the right person, maybe I did not reach out to the right person, maybe this is not the right time to reach out to this person. So when you talk about failures, you have to go through a mindset, I would say. So being a failure, of course, even I feel like, hey, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I wanted to, ये मेरी 10-15 चीजों की लिस्ट है, मुझे फुलफिल करनी है. बट यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट अगर आपको जो चीज नंबर 10 पे करनी है वो आप नंबर 1 पे कर रहे हो, एंड इफ यू फील लाइक अ फेलियर, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. क्योंकि आपको नंबर 10 पे करना चाहिए था. यू कांट स्किप स्टेप्स. आपको 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 पे जाना है. आप 1 से 10 पे जाओगे तो आप बहुत सारी चीजें बीच में आपकी छूट गई है. And then if you go directly to 10 and then you go to the person and you say, this is my plan, I want to do this, and the person asks you, okay, इसको specification में लेके जाओ, इसको details में बताओ, you're like, वो तो मुझे पता नहीं है. And then you say, उन्होंने मुझे reject कर दिया. So this is a problem, especially in the youngsters and especially people like us. And even I would love to consider myself. I don't want to make a narrative like you and me. It's we. So I would love to say sometimes what we do is हम स्किप करना बहुत पसंद करते हैं. हमें फटाफट सब चाहिए. वी वांट द रिजल्ट्स इमीडिएटली, अभी के अभी सब कुछ मिलना चाहिए हमें. बट दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. यू हैव नो आइडिया कि आज आपने किसी से मुलाकात की, आपने किसी को कुछ कहा, आपने अपना प्लान बताया, आपने विजन्स बताए, दे आर रियली इम्प्रेस्ड बाय यू, देन दे आस्क यू फॉर डिटेल्स एंड यू आर क्लूलेस, एंड देन you come to home and say, this person rejected me. But if you have this idea that, okay, if not today, maybe tomorrow I can meet that person again. And just imagine, after 1 year, you go to the same person again. The mentality, youth, listen to me very carefully. And I'm sure this is going to be on YouTube. Listen to me very carefully. आपको अगले साल उनके पास इसलिए नहीं जाने कि देखो मैंने करके बताया, I have done it, you know nothing, etc. If you go like that, you're going to fail. You are going to fail. But if you go that I remember the previous time we had a conversation, I was lacking in 10 things, but I'm thankful कि आपने मुझे time दिया, reject नहीं किया, don't use that word, fail नहीं किया. You gave me time to ponder upon things जहाँ पे मैं lack कर रहा था, and I'm glad we are able to come into this conversation once again. And now I hope that I am able to give you the answer to the question जो मैं 1 साल पहले, 6 महीने पहले, 1 महीने पहले नहीं दे पा रहा था. And then you see the conversation with the same person at the same place would be different. You're like, let's do a deal. Like, really? This person rejected me 1 year ago. So that is something I would say, rejections are, it depends. It helps you to explore more. So when you feel rejected, once you feel failure, try to introspect. Before we put the blame to the other party, उन्होंने मुझे reject कर दिया. हो सकता है कहीं ना कहीं हमने lack कर दिया. ठीक है, it's okay. We are human beings, right? So हो सकता है वो 10th step पे आना चाहिए था, मैंने first से directly 10th पे jump मार दिया. It's fine. Go slow. Start small. Make presentations. Make documentation. Again, when you ask me this question that about failures, um, I don't want to express more, or people might seem like I'm boasting about it. But if you go to my website, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, or if you go to my Instagram, if you go to my podcast, you will find that what kind of leaders I talk to. I talk to people who are from USA, from UK, from Germany, from Switzerland, from New Zealand, from Denmark. I talk to phenomenal people across the globe. And I think at least from what I learned from them, I'm able to share it with you. Is somewhere down the line, I was talking to TEDx नाम सुना है आप सबने? TEDx पता है? People are smiling right now, saying इनको तो सब कुछ पता है, but मुझे सब कुछ नहीं पता, मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा कुछ पता है. So I was talking to the organizer, जो license देते हैं TEDx का इंडिया में. I was talking to him. a few days back on my podcast. You will find it there. So I spoke to him and he said, Abdul, the biggest problem is that, and he's also working with incubation and entrepreneurship and startup and so many more things. He said, Abdul, I will tell you something. I said, go ahead, please. He said, आज के टाइम पे यंगस्टर्स हमारे पास आते हैं कि मेरे पास ये बड़ा सा आइडिया है, बट व्हेन वी टेल देम कि इसको आप डॉक्यूमेंट करके लेके आओ, आप इसको एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्मेट में लेके आओ, आप इसको प्लान बना के लेके आओ, वो नहीं लेके आते. They want to become founders, they want to become CEOs, they want to start up their own businesses, but when we tell them, give us the plan, what are you going to do? हमने आपको 10 लाख रुपए दे दिया, अब क्या करोगे आप इसका? They don't have plans. They have no idea what to do. Next step क्या है? 20 लाख रुपए हमने आपको दे दिया, क्या करोगे आप? And then they go, and most of the cases he's told 40 to 50% वो जाके पैसे वेस्ट कर देते हैं, एक साल तक ये कुछ होता नहीं है उनसे. So once you plan to become an entrepreneur, you need to have this mindset. You have to keep improving yourself. You cannot be rigid. मैंने बोल दिया मतलब मैं ही सही हूँ. आप सही हो सकते हो, बट आपको प्रेजेंट करने आना चाहिए, आपको सही लोगों से मिलने आना चाहिए, आपको सही तरीके से बातचीत करने आना चाहिए. So it's more about self-improvement. Self-improvement. And how can you improve yourself? You need to analyze yourself. If someone is rejecting you, have the guts to ask them, okay, if you can help me out, where exactly am I lacking? पूछो ना, हो सकता है आपको ऐसा पॉइंट बता दे, आपको पता ही नहीं था यहाँ पे आप लैग कर रहे थे. देन यू गो टू हंड्रेड्स ऑफ पीपल एंड दे लाइक वी रियली लाइक्ड इट, आपने ये पॉइंट मेंशन किया, एंड यू लाइक अच्छा, वो जो फर्स्ट टाइम जिन्होंने रिजेक्ट किया था मुझे, उन्होंने मुझे ये करने बोला था, नाउ आई एम एबल टू रीच आउट टू मोर 100 पीपल. सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट माइंडसेट, ऑल अबाउट, you have to keep your ego aside. You have to keep your ego aside. Failures, rejections, depression, and all these words, I talk about them, I've been through them, and that is the reason I'm able to talk with all these energies, with these experiences, and with all these accumulations of things. But whatever I'm talking and whatever I'm sharing, I'm thankful to this platform who has given me this opportunity. I'm not preparing a speech, I don't have a speech in my hand, I'm not looking at Google, I'm not doing it, I'm talking on the basis of my experiences, though I am very young at the moment. But whatever I'm saying right now is on the basis of the experience I have. Though I'm very young, but I talk to these people, I learn from them, I count on them, and then my biggest vision is, right now when you talk about failures, I know it all is the biggest problem in our generation. मुझे सब पता है, मुझे तो सब पता है, मैं तो पूरा PhD कर बैठा हूँ, गूगल पे जाऊंगा, टाइप करूंगा, मुझे सब मिल जाएगा. आपको नहीं मिलेगा, आपको नहीं मिलेगा, आपको सिर्फ थियोरी मिलेगा, आपको सिर्फ थियोरी मिलेगा. प्रैक्टिकल आपको उन्हीं से मिलेगा जिन्होंने वो फील्ड में काम किया है, जिन्होंने 20 साल 30 साल 40 साल काम किया. आपको उनके साथ बैठना पड़ेगा, आपको उनके साथ डिस्कशंस करने पड़ेंगे, आपको उनके साथ प्लान्स शेयर करना पड़ेगा. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, देयर आर थाउजेंड्स ऑफ पीपल वुड लव टू हेल्प यू आउट. सो योर माइंडसेट इज द बिग गेम. अगर आप रिजेक्शन लेके बैठ गए, हो गया, फिर वो पूरी जिंदगी आप रिजेक्ट हो गए. So see, you have to work upon yourself, you have to work upon your ego, your boundaries, your relations, your personality, your how you present yourself. आपका आइडिया बहुत अच्छा है, पर आपने प्रेजेंट अच्छे से नहीं किया, फेल हो गए. तो आप सामने वाले को तो नहीं बोल सकते ना आपने मुझे फेल किया. If right now a CEO of a company sitting in front of you and you gave a rubbish presentation, again आपके हिसाब से बहुत अच्छा था, but from the other perspective नहीं अच्छा था, so what are you going to do? उन्होंने मुझे रिजेक्ट कर दिया. नहीं बाबा, आपको रिजेक्ट नहीं किया उन्होंने, आपके प्रेजेंटेशन ने आपको पिटवा दिया वहां पे. सो यू हैव टू बी बिट केयरफुल. अगर आपको सही में एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है, खुद का कुछ करना है, अपने प्रोडक्ट्स या सर्विसेज को बाहर ले जाना है, लर्न टू प्रेजेंट योरसेल्फ. And before I wind up, as I see the time is also, I love to talk on these topics and the time runs just like that. So I would just say, keep your product authentic, keep your product loyal, keep your services transactable or transparent. मत करो, I see youngsters who go to the market, ये 5,000 रुपए का प्रोडक्ट है और उसके पीछे फिर आपने 1,000 रुपए का काम किया है, तो वो दिखता है. आपको अगर मैनिपुलेट करने आता है तो आपके सामने जो है उसने हजारों को मैनिपुलेट करता हुआ देख लिया है. So be transparent, be honest, work with respect, work with dignity, work with transparency, work with honesty, and work with a bigger cause. And I'm sure, like, relating my example, I was talking to this person who do great things just half an hour before this call we are having right now, and he told me the same thing. Abdul, आपको जो है वो सीखते रहना पड़ेगा. You have to keep developing yourself, and you have to have an attitude that I don't know it all. Again, I don't mean to say मुझे कुछ नहीं पता. आपको आपकी फील्ड के बारे में पता है, अच्छी बात है, उसको यूज करो. पर जहां पे नहीं पता है, लोगों से पूछो. हेल्प लो, गाइडेंस लो, आप उससे छोटे नहीं हो जाओगे, कभी नहीं होगे। बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर आप उनके पास जाओगे, मुझे सब पता है अब आप मुझे बताइए, तो सामने वाला कभी नहीं बताएगा। So when I talk to world leaders, just sharing, I talk to people who are far beyond my reach. मैं सोच नहीं सकता हूँ मैं वैसे लोगों से बातचीत करता हूँ. So that is something I would say. Have a bigger heart. If you really want to do something big, अगर आपके visions big हैं, तो आपको लोगों को साथ में लेके चलना पड़ेगा, उनके साथ बैठ के उनकी बातें सुननी पड़ेगी, उनसे इंटरेक्ट करना पड़ेगा, and then you become a better person. It's ये जो एक रात में आप बड़े बन जाओगे वो नहीं होगा. आपको ये थॉट अपने दिमाग से निकालना पड़ेगा. You have to do what you love to do, and make your boundaries, make your priorities, have an organized plan. The biggest problem in India, before we wind up just in few minutes, the biggest problem also when I see in youngsters is they don't get a proper guidance in organizing things. बहुत बुरी पिटते हैं. And I say that, and I have all the rights to say that because I have done events on national levels, and I make sure that everything happens on time. 1 मिनट तो 1 मिनट, 2 मिनट तो 2 मिनट. So I make sure that this is where people lack. India के अंदर ये सबसे बड़ा एक problem है. I'm not saying the whole India. Of course, there are places which works phenomenally. It works on time and it works in a great level. But at the same time, what definitely happens is some down the line, not only the scheduling, not only the timings, पहले क्या करना है, दूसरा क्या करना है, पांचवा क्या करना है, यहाँ पे flow कैसे बनना चाहिए. This is something which youngsters really need to learn. And internet है हमारे पास, वैसे लोग हैं हमारे पास. So attend those sessions, learn from them, go to YouTube, and yeah, I would say present yourself in the best way. If you want to become an entrepreneur, अपने आप को बेस्ट तरीके से प्रेजेंट करना सीखो. And when I say that, again, आपको मेरी तरह इंग्लिश बोलने नहीं आना चाहिए. आपको उर्दू भी आती है, हिंदी भी आती है, मराठी भी आती है, गुजराती भी आती है, कन्नड़ भी आती है, जो लैंग्वेज आती है, अरबिक आती है, अफगानी आती है, या फिर आप जो लैंग्वेज में बात करना चाहो, it's okay. What matters is your idea and how do you present it to the world. That is something I would say. So speaking about, in last word, failures and rejections, it will happen. It depends how you take it. पूरा जो सेंटर है वो आप हो, सब आप हो. अगेन, ये एरोगेंस वाला आप नहीं हो, ये एक हम्बल वाला आप हो, कि मैं ही सब कुछ हूं वाला नहीं है. ये मेरे हाथ में है. हाउ डू आई वांट टू रेगुलेट इट? इट्स अप टू मी. दैट इज इन माय हैंड. सो या, यूज इट वाइजली. डिफाइन इट. फेलियर आपके लिए क्या है, रिजेक्शंस क्या है, हैप्पीनेस क्या है, जॉय क्या है, लव क्या है, पैशन क्या है, ये सब चीजें आपके लिए क्या है, फिर आपको मजा आएगी. यू विल लव डूइंग व्हाट यू डू.
Even the mistakes teach us the biggest lessons of our life. Yeah.
तो
So,
पता है हमें.
so that's all for this session. I hope you had a great time, sir. We'll,
Definitely. Like I love doing this. Just to add on, I was having a interaction. ISEC, अगर आपने सुना है, it's working in 130 countries somewhere down the line. So I was a guest speaker in Surat for in Nellore. Then 2 days before, a week before, I guess. No, 2 days before for the Nagpur city. So it's an international organization. वो पूरे world के लिए काम करते हैं. So I keep delivering speeches. I love this. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. Interact with people, गाइड दी यंगस्टर्स, कुछ करो उनके लिए, उनको एक रास्ता दिखाओ. अब मुझे जितना थोड़ा बहुत पता है, जो टीनी टाइनी पार्ट्स पता है, एटलीस्ट आई कैन डू समथिंग फॉर द वर्ल्ड.